How you guys doing? This is very important. I got a little Caesar's pizza today after I went to one of the staffing companies. But that satellite man was burning my face and teeth at the staffing company. And satellite man was burning me on the way up there, zapping me in the face and teeth. And it's more lawsuits. They've been doing this to me every single day for over 22 years. Another thing that's important in reference to all 50 states, reference to animal rights, in reference to dogs and cats, the Animal Rights Office should probably make some type of cat or dog symbol for all 50 states. And, you know, just for the fact of protecting cats and dogs and animals, have like a state, a cartoon drawing of a cat or a dog, you know what I mean? For different breeds, for all the different types of breeds of dogs or whichever. Just for, fact of things. And, Indiana's famous for cats and dogs probably. And so are some other cities and states, you know what I mean? But, Jim Davison and Garfield and, there's Heathcliff the cat. I used to watch those cartoons. Tom and Jerry, the cat, Tom. And, all kinds of other animals that there are in America. These people that are animal haters, whoever they are, they need to get prosecuted. The satellite man's been snaggletoothing me and hitting me in the face and teeth. I've never received any compensation. And these government people tried to call my teeth fake. Their opinion is not legal. The only thing is legal is records and documents. This person tried to call my teeth dirty. They tried to call my mouth dirty. We need for that lady and that man in the satellite control room to be forced into court to explain why they ever called my mouth dirty. Mistaken identity is not going to be good enough. You're going to get prosecuted for that shit too. My identity is the number one documented identity in all of America. It's on TV 24 hours a day. And every government branch has access to a database that tells you information about who I am and who my biological parents are. So anybody in government making that mistake can get put on trial for the death penalty for intentionally trying to steal billions and trillions of dollars in land and property and revenues and accounts. There are all protocols in the media, 24 hours a day. All the news networks know it. All the TV and radio stations know it. The newspapers know it. There's newspapers in Indianapolis that are obligated to know the information. Now, you can check the information. I'm not sure which newspapers I own in reference to my father and mother, but check to see if I'm the owner of the LA Times or the New York Times or the Washington Post newspapers, or, look up that information. I'm not sure if they've done any stories on me because I've not seen any. But there was one article in the LA Times, I guess, that they did about me or something. I'm not sure, in reference to one of the stories or something. So somebody could look that up in the LA Times. But I was in the newspaper here when they held me hostage before at one of the swimming pools. It was either Brookside swimming pool, a long, long time ago, or Ellenberger. But then they made it look like Brookside. I don't know which one it was, but I mean, well, in the picture it was Brookside, but I spoke to a reporter at Ellenberger Park too. So Ellenberger Park swimming pool. They got an ice skating ring there too. But anyways, so look that up in the reference to the Indianapolis Star News when I was held hostage here back in the 80s. I was diving off the diving board. But in reference to other things, in reference to these government men and their activity of mutilations and their slander, look how many times they have knocked me out with tasers, how many times they've stolen my blood, how many times they've strip searched me, how many times they've raped me, how many times they have physically assaulted me, how many times they slandered my character, how many times they tried to call my mouth dirty. The person and all the people involved that ever called my teeth fake or dirty, that work in American government or work in satellite control rooms, or that work in any medical industry, must get ordered into court. My teeth are real. They've been real my whole life. Any person mistaking satellite or laser burns on a person's teeth for any type of tooth decay, you can get prosecuted if you did not know that. misdiagnosing a person's teeth by calling them cavities when they are black laser burns that the government had done to a person's teeth is a false diagnosis of anybody making accusations about a person's teeth. Now, the only reason they do that, the government does that, is to murder off and to steal from people and to damage their life and to damage their careers and opportunities is what government does. And those government people have to get prosecuted for violating the American way and their activity of violating people's bodies and people's lives and their activities of trying to ruin people's opportunities. The government man must get prosecuted for their violations of teeth mutilations, physical assault, sexual stalking, sexual predator crimes, violent sex crimes of them tasering and rendering a person unconscious and then raping them. Those government agents and those law enforcement agents or anybody else that's been involved in that kind of shit needs to get prosecuted. The facts of satellite controllers aiding and abetting people when they have raped them is a crime, such as satellite man tasering people and trying to knock them out when their government men have approached the person and they have tried to render the person unconscious, or them trying to disillusion a situation, or them messing with the person, and then government agents trying to label it as something other than that. That their agents had been trying to mess with the person's bodies and looks and face and their activity of stirring up or them trying to terrorize a person with a satellite. The government is obligated to explain satellite technology to the people of America. The government has illegally been using it on me and other people. The activity of government using that and then covering it up is a inside the border threat of them attacking the country. The activity of them trying to pick off people with their satellites, their activity of trying to slander people's intellect, or trying to make people look washed up, or trying to make people look old and decrepit, or trying to ruin their looks or ruining their faces and teeth and popularity with their physical assault. Those government agents and satellite controllers need to get prosecuted for their crimes. Do you understand that? All the activities of these government people and their cover-ups is a violation of American law, no matter what country they came from. This country has its own laws inside the borders. Any politician disrespecting or misrepresenting the laws of this country cannot be practicing law. They cannot be court judges. They cannot be politicians. They cannot be government. If they're violating the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence in America, or if they're violating the privacy laws, rights to privacy, rights not to be harassed, the activity of government stalking or terrorizing or trespassing on people's properties with satellites and burning them and jolting them and scaring them and trying to make them yell and scream, and then government man trying to frame people that way. Government man can face the death penalty for misrepresenting a situation when their agency or their people have been involved in trying to stir up hostility or the fact of people having to complain about their government satellite spying. There's been a lot of court cases where other people have been paid in reference to government spying on them and terrorizing their life. I've never been paid, and I'm one of the people in America that's been on satellite longer than anybody else in the whole country. And the government is still making up lies, and they're still hitting me in the throat, and they're still violating my rights. But they've paid other people in reference to government spying on their people. But that's funny, isn't it? Because most of those people are the same race as the satellite controllers. The government people that stole satellites or that are using satellites in America, their people have done these things to their own race, where their race would try to claim lawsuit monies, like it was a setup. When these people have terrorized my life, these people murdered my parents, and these people have been terrorizing me with satellites, and they've never paid me nothing. So it looks like most of those people the government paid, those people was in on it. It's a financial satellite scam that these people and their satellite controllers are running in their ways of benefiting themselves by abusing their own people moderately. And then there are people getting millions of dollars in lawsuits when these people have hurt me several times and stole from me and abused me and damaged things on my body is what they have done. And they've never paid me nothing. They can't even get the information right of who I am and who my parents are. And it's the most documented identity in America. All these people pretending like they didn't know that, or these people that pretend like they didn't think it had any importance, there's a reason why it's important. And the government trying to belittle that means the government has to get prosecuted and sued. And they have to get prosecuted and sued for not making good on the previous lawsuits against the government. It's more lawsuits. And in reference to lawsuits that the government tries to avoid, people will tell you they're going to come back and sue you again. They're going to prosecute you in the future. You might have gotten away with it back then, or you think you're